Kule has destroyed my life. He sold my house. He sold our home without saying anything.
He sold my house while I was still alive. Part 1. Ada adjusted the wrapper around her waist as she slowly walked down the dusty streets. The afternoon sun in Lagos was unforgiving, pressing down on her skin like a heavy hand. Sweat gathered on her forehead, but she did not complain. She was used to it. Hardship was not new to her, but today her heart was light because she was going home. Her home. The house she built with years of sacrifice, sleepless nights, and silent tears no one ever saw. She balanced the baskets on her head carefully. Fresh tomatoes, pepper, onions, simple things, but to her they meant peace. As she turned into her street, something felt different, too quiet, too still. Then she noticed them, people standing in small groups, whispering, looking at her house. Her smile slowly faded, her steps slowed down. A strange fear crept into her chest.
Why are they looking like that?
She murmured. Then she saw it, a white bird standing boldly in front of her gate. The words were written in red, for sale. Ada stopped, completely still. Her mind refused to understand what her eyes were seeing. No, she whispered under her breath. The basket slipped slightly on her head. She didn't adjust it. She could not move. Her heartbeat became loud in her ears. She blinked once, twice, but the sign didn't disappear. Instead, it became more real. Her hand slowly reached up and the basket dropped. Tomatoes scattered across the ground, rolling, some breaking open, red juice spreading across the sand. But Ada didn't notice. Her entire world was focused on one thing. That is my house. Her voice cracked.
That is my house. Mama Titi, what is this? Ada, I don't really know. You don't know. This is my house.
Silence, every silence. That silence told her everything. Something was wrong, very wrong. Her heart started racing without waiting for another answer. Ada rushed to the gate. Her hand trembled as she pushed it open.
Kule has destroyed my life. He sold my house. He sold our home without saying anything.
Her voice echoed through the compound. No answer. Kule, nothing. The house was too quiet, unnaturally quiet. Her breathing became uneven. Step by step, she walked into the living room. Everything looked normal, too normal. That was what scared her the most. Then she saw it, a brown envelope, placed neatly on the center table, her name written boldly on it. Ada. Her hands began to shake. Slowly, she picked it up. For a moment, she hesitated. Her instinct told her, whatever is inside this envelope will change your life. But she opened it anyway. Inside were documents, official, stamp, serious. Her eyes moved quickly across the paper. Then suddenly they stopped. Her name printed clearly, her breath caught. Then she saw the signature, her signature, but not her. Her heart skipped violently. No, this is not mine. Her voice was barely audible. Her finger trembled as she flipped to the last page, and that was when she saw it. Kule Adeyemi, her husband, signed, confident, final. Ada stepped back slowly. Her body felt cold. Her mind was spinning. No.
Kule cannot do this.
Sharp, loud, breaking the silence like thunder or no number. She stared at it. Something inside her did not want to answer, but she did. Hello? Her voice was weak. Good afternoon, ma. I am calling concerning the property you sold. Ada eyes widened. I did not say any property. There was a short pause. Then the voice said, your husband did, ma. Everything inside her shattered. Her grip on the phone loosened. It almost felt. Her leg gave way. She collapsed to the floor. Tears rushed down her face instantly. Hot, uncontrollable. No. Her chest rose and fell rapidly. Her breathing became heavy. She shook her head repeatedly as if the now could change reality. But it didn't. The truth was already standing in front of her house. on that sign for sale. Then slowly, painfully, a thought entered her mind, a dangerous thought. If he could do this, her lip trembled. What else has he done? Her eyes filled with fear because deep inside she realized something terrifying. She might have been living with a stranger all along, and just as Ada tried to stand up, her phone vibrated again. A message from Kule. We need to talk. Ada stared at the screen. Her tears stopped. Not because the pain ended, but because something else replaced it. Fear, because she knew that conversation would destroy whatever was left of her life. Ada did not reply. She cooled it, her finger over the phone screen, trembling slightly, but no words came out. The message stared back at her. We need to talk. Her lip parted slowly. What is there to talk about? She whispered. Her voice sounded strained, weak, almost like it did not belong to her. The house was quiet, too quiet. Even the ticking wall clock felt louder than usual, felt like pressure on her chest. Ada slowly lifted her head and looked around the living room. Everything was still there. Nothing had changed, and yet everything had changed. Her eyes stopped at the wedding picture hanging on the wall. She stood up slowly. Her leg felt heavy, like she was carrying something invisible. Step by step, she walked toward it. When she got close, she raised her hand and touched the frame. Her fingers traced the edge gently. In the picture, she was smiling, a real smile, the kind that comes from deep happiness. Beside her, Kule stood proudly, hand on her shoulder, looking like a man who would protect her forever. Ada eyes filled with tears. Was any of it real? She asked softly. Silence answered her. Her chest tightened. She remembered that day, the laughter, the music, the promises. I will never hurt you. Kule had said those words clearly. She heard them again now, like an echo. Ada shook her head slowly. Was it all just voice? Her phone buzzed again. She turned quickly. Another message. Ada, please, just listen to me. This time, something changed inside her. Her expression hardened. Her pain slowly began to turn into anger. Listen to you, she repeated. Her voice was no longer weak. It carried something else now. Hurt, betrayal, and when did you ever listen to me? She said under her breath. Tears rolled down her cheek again, but she didn't wipe them immediately. She let them fall, as if each tear carried a memory. I listened when you said you loved me. Her voice cracked slightly. I listened when you said we were building a future together. She took a slow breath. I listened when you said this house was ours. Her hand tightened into a face, and now her voice dropped. You sold it. The words hung in the air, heavy, painful, unbelievable. She walked back to the center table where the document was still lying. That brown envelope, looking so ordinary, yet it had destroyed everything. She picked up one of the papers again. Her eyes scanned the signature, her name, written like it belonged there, but it didn't. This is not mine, she whispered again. Her fingers shook. How could you do this, Kule? Her voice broke completely now. She sank slowly into the chair. Her body felt weak, like all her strength had been drained. Her mind began to race. Different thoughts, one after the other, fast, confusing, painful. Was he planning this all along? Did he ever truly love me? Or was I just convenient? She covered her face with both hands, and for a moment she allowed herself to cry. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quiet tears. The kind that come from deep inside, the kind that hurt more than anything. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. She did not know. Time no longer mattered. Then suddenly, she lowered her hand. Her eyes were red, but something had changed again. This time, it wasn't fear, it wasn't confusion, it was realization. Slow, painful, clear. This did not just happen today, she said softly. Her breathing became steady. This had been happened, and I didn't see it. She stood up again, this time stronger. Her eyes moved around the room once more. Now she noticed things differently. The late nights, the secret phone call, the way Kule avoided certain questions, the sudden business trip, all the signs I ignored, all the things she trusted. Her lip trembled. I trusted you. Her voice dropped again, deep, Pastor, I gave you everything. Her chest rose and fell slowly. Then her phone buzzed again. Another message. Ada, I am coming home. Her heart skipped. Her grip on the phone tightened. Coming home. That word. Home. She looked around at the wall, at the furniture, at everything she built with her whole struggle. Is this still my home? She asked quietly. Her eyes slowly moved toward the door. Fear returned, not loud, not sudden, but deep, because she knew something now, something she couldn't ignore anymore. The man coming through that door might not be the man she married. Her breathing slow, controlled, deliberate. She wiped her face, straightened her wrapper, and stood still, waiting, not as a weak woman, not as someone confused, but as someone who was about to face the truth, no matter how painful it would be. Outside, the sound of a car stopped. Ada's heart began to beat faster. Footsteps followed, slow, steady, getting closer. She didn't move, she didn't speak, she just stood there, watching the door, waiting, because in the next few moments, her life would either break completely or change forever. The sound of the gate open made Ada freeze. Her entire body went still. Her heart began to pound, slow at first, then faster, louder, heavier, each beat echoing in her ear like a warning. She didn't turn immediately. She couldn't. Footsteps followed. Mayor, calm, unhurried, as if nothing had happened, as if the world outside was not falling apart. Ada swallowed hard, her finger tightened slightly by her side. This is it, she whispered to herself. The door handle moved, a soft click, then the door opened. Kule stepped in, just like every other day. Same posture, same calm face, same familiar presence, and that was what broke Ada the most, because nothing on his face showed guilty, nothing showed fear, nothing showed regret. Ada, he said softly, closing the door behind him. Her name sounded normal on his lip, too normal. Ada slowly turned, her eyes met his. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence stretched, heavy, painful, full of things unsaid. Ada's eyes searched his face, looking for something, anything, an explanation, a sign, but she found nothing, just calmness, and that calmness felt like betrayal. You sold my house. Her voice was quiet but firm, not a question, not confusion, just truth. Kule exhaled slowly, like a man preparing for something difficult. Ada, let me explain. No, the one cut through the air instantly, sharp, clear. Ada shook her head slowly. Don't start with that. I filled with tears. But this time, she didn't look away. You sold my house, she repeated. Kule stepped forward slightly. It is not what you think. Ada let out a short, painful laugh. Then tell me what I should think, she said, her voice rising just a little. Because I came home and saw a for sale sign in front of my own house. Her chest rose, fell, control, but barely. I walked inside and found documents with my name on them. She lifted the paper from the table and held it up. My name, Kule. Her voice shook. My signature. She stepped closer, but it is not mine. Silence. Kule looked at the floor briefly, then back at her. It was necessary, he said quietly. Ada blinked once, twice, as if she didn't hear him properly. Necessary, she repeated. Her voice dropped, dangerously calm. Kule nodded slightly. I did not have a choice. That was it. Something inside Ada snapped. No choice, she echoed, her voice rising now. You had no choice, but
You had no choice but to sell my house?
Our house.
Stop saying that!
her breathing became heavy, emotional, unstable. Don't you dare call it our house, she said, her voice trembling. I built this house before you came into my life. Kule rubbed his forehead, frustration creeping in. Ada, please try to understand. No, you understand, she fired back, her eyes burning with pain. I trusted you, her voice cracked. I let you into my life. She pointed at the floor. At this house, her chest tightened again, and this is what you did. Kule's expression changed slightly, guilt flinking, but it wasn't enough, not nearly enough. I was trying to fix things, he said.
I trusted you. I let you into my life. At this house. And this is what you did? By destroying me?
Toward the chair and sat down slowly, like the weight of everything was finally catching up with him. You don't understand the situation. Immortal. Ada stared at him, cold, hot, then explained it. She said, I am listening. Kule hesitated. His fingers rubbed together nervously. Then he spoke. I had debts. Ada didn't react immediately. She just watched him. How much? She asked quietly. Kule looked away. A lot. Ada stepped closer. How much, Kule? Her voice firmer now. Enough to lose everything. He replied. The word landed heavily. Ada's stomach tightened. What do you do? She whispered. Kule didn't answer immediately, and that delay, that silence made everything worse. What do you do? She asked again, this time louder. I invested in something. He said finally. What something? Ada pressed. A business opportunity. Ada laughed again, but there was no woman in it. Opportunity. Her voice shook. You call this an opportunity? She gestured around the room. This is what it led to. Kule stood up suddenly. I was trying to make things better. He snapped. Ada flinched slightly, not from fear, but from the shock of his tone. Better, she whispered. Her eyes fell again. You sold my home? Kule, her voice dropped again, soft, broken. You sold my peace. That's it, him. He looked at her. Really, look this time. And for a brief moment, the weight of what he had done showed on his face, but it was too late. Way too late. Ada wiped her tears slowly. I need one answer, she said. Kule remained silent. Did you ever plan to tell me? She asked. He hesitated. That hesitation was the answer. Ada nodded slowly. I see. Her voice was calm now. Too calm, and that calmness was more dangerous than her anger because it meant something inside her had changed. Completely. She stepped back. Creating distance between them, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. Finally, you didn't just sell my house, she said quietly, her eyes locked onto his. You sold us. Kule lip parted, but no word came out because deep down he knew she was right. And that moment, the silence between them said everything. Watch out for part 2. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Thank you, everyone.